Hi, my North Ohio friends. I am here to read you a story this week by Eric Carle. It is called A House for Hermit Crab. And in the front page here, there's a little paragraph that tells you a little bit about hermit crabs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them in the pet store, or maybe if you have one for a pet. A hermit crab lives on the ocean floor. Their skin is hard except for the abdomen, which is soft. That means that's their belly. To protect this soft spot, the hermit crab borrows a shell and makes it its house. Then only its face, feet, and claws stick out from the shell. That way it can see, walk, and catch its food. When a hermit crab is threatened, it withdraws into its shell until the danger has passed. So I don't know if you can see this. Oh, good. So here he is with no shell. He's kind of naked. And then he finds a shell that looks like a good place to make his home. And then he crawls inside there, and he gets himself all comfortable, and then he sticks out his feet, his claws, and his head. But when something big and dangerous comes along like this big guy, he can hide. See his little feet there? He curled up way inside his shell, and he's hiding, because I'm sure this guy would like to eat him for lunch. "Time to move," said Hermit Crab one day in January. "I've grown too big for this shell." He felt safe and snug inside his shell, but it was just too snug. The hermit crab stepped out of the shell and onto the ocean floor. But it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. What if a big fish comes along and attacks me, he thought. I must find a house soon. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house that he was looking for. It had a big, strong shell, and he moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside to see how it felt. And it felt just right. But it looked so plain, thought Hermit Crab. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. "How beautiful you are," said Hermit Crab. "Will one of you be willing to come and live on my house? It's so plain, and it needs you." "I'll come," whispered a small sea anemone. Gently, the Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw, and he put it on his shell. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish, moving slowly along the seafloor. "How handsome you are," said the Hermit Crab. "Will one of you be willing to decorate my house?" "I will," signaled the little sea star. Carefully, the Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw, and he put it on his house. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. "How pretty you are," said the Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful?" "I would," creaked the crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw, and he placed it on his shell. In June, Hermit Crab came across a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat little path behind them. "How tidy and hardworking you are," said the Hermit Crab. "Will one of you be willing to come to my house and clean it?" "I would," offered one of the snails. Happily, the Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. "How fierce you look," said the Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to protect my house?" "I would," answered the spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw, and he placed it near his shell. And I'm guessing he didn't place it on it, because look how spiky they look. I don't think I'd want that in my house, would you? In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into the forest of seaweed. "It's so dark in here," thought Hermit Crab. How dim it is, murmured the sea anemone. How gloomy it is, whispered the starfish. How murky it is, complained the coral. I can't see, said the snail. It's like nighttime, cried the sea urchin. In September, hermit crabs spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. How bright you are, said hermit crab. Will one of you be willing to light up our house? I would, replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. In October, hermit crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. How sturdy you are, said the hermit crab. Would you mind if I rearranged you? Not at all, answered the pebbles. Hermit crab picked them up one by one with his claw, and he built a wall around his shell. Now my house is perfect, cheered the hermit crab. But in November, hermit crab felt that his shell seemed a little bit too small. Little bit by little bit, over the year, the hermit crab had grown. Soon he would have to find a bigger home. But he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. They have been so good to me, thought the hermit crab. They are like my family. How can I ever leave them? In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. I've outgrown my shell, she said. Would you know of a place for me? I've outgrown my house too, answered the hermit crab. I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends. I promise, said the little crab. The following January, hermit crab stepped out, and the little crab moved in. Couldn't stay in that little shell forever, said the hermit crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but hermit crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house, a big empty shell, and it looked a little plain. But sponges, he thought, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. And that is the end. So what do you think he did with his new shell? I bet you he decorated it as beautiful as his old shell was. The one that he got too big for. And a new little crab moved in. It's a good story, isn't it? All right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll be back next week to read you a new story. Bye.